Toby Fox is well known for stuffing his games with secrets, and like Undertale, Deltarune's naming screen also holds its own host of Easter eggs depending on the names you put in. While there are a very broad range of responses in Undertale, including custom responses for every character from Undyne and Sans to Jerry or even R, the responses in Deltarune are a little more limited. You of course get the default responses where it says things like, "We called it name." Excellent, truly excellent. If you call the vessel a whole host of names, which I will display on screen right now, you'll get either how interesting or an interesting coincidence, depending on if it's the vessel or the creator that you named after that character. Equally, there's a set of different responses for some of the main characters, namely Chris, Susie, and Noelle. Upon naming the vessel any of these names, the voice says an interesting coincidence. Or when naming the creator, it says you're about to meet someone very, very wonderful. If you name either vessel or creator Gaster, then the game just resets to the menu. Finally, if you name both the vessel and the creator the exact same thing, then the voice says, of course they are the same. While these secrets are really interesting in themselves, they actually create a lot more questions for me. In particular, what about the very significant omissions? For example, Ralsei. Putting Ralsei into either the creator or vessel slot just gets you a default response, which seems very, very weird considering we have a whole host of other characters, often less important characters, who do get a response. So what does this mean for Ralsei? What does it mean that Asriel is one of the names that is included, but Ralsei isn't? There's quite a lot of theories about whether Ralsei and Asriel are the same person, and the fact that Ralsei is completely omitted kind of adds to this discussion a little bit. Is Ralsei absent because Ralsei is, well, Asriel? It seems even more confusing that Noelle is included in this list of main characters and Ralsei is not, when Ralsei arguably has a much bigger role in the game up until this point. Now this might be something really, really insignificant, but I have a feeling it could spell something about the future of Ralsei within the game. There is of course the possibility that because this is a game that is still in development, some of the names just haven't been included yet. We've got to remember that Undertale is just one game and Deltarune is a game consisting of 7 chapters, which may mean that there's actually a lot more to be added. Now Ralsei isn't the only character who is omitted from this naming screen. Lancer, for example, is another very important character who's also omitted. Now at first I thought this was to do with the order that the chapters were released in, because the majority of the characters that have a specific flavour text are ones that are introduced within chapter 1, so that would explain why characters such as Queen are omitted. But what about Lancer? He is arguably one of the most important characters in chapter 1 and there is absolutely no mention of him. I don't have any specific ideas as to why this is, but part of me thinks that it could be because these characters have a more significant role coming up that might be revealed to be linked in with other characters that are already mentioned. Ralsei is the Prince of Darkness, and that's a leading theory as to why he doesn't turn to stone when he goes to the cyber world, because his fountain was made of pure darkness, and thus he can go anywhere. Could this possibly be connected to the reason that his name is not mentioned as a specific flavour text? Could something similar be applicable to Lancer? I am just throwing ideas out into the air here. I'm genuinely curious as to whether anybody in the community has a complete theory as to why these names are omitted. Knowing how thorough Toby Fox was in Undertale's naming screen, it just seems very bizarre to me that there's so many really significant omissions. As I've said previously, it could just be that the game is incomplete and that there's going to be more stuff added later on. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have any specific ideas about why this might be, please let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different form of video, and if you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and if you would like to see more content like this, please don't forget to let me know.